Right, so let's dive into this. So I've got some candles burning here. The Dia de los Muertos is here coming, and I love this time because it reminds me that, this too shall pass. This is not just it. This too shall pass, and we have many different expressions of form, of shapes, of bodies, and reincarnations that we've lived through. So this is not the first, this is not the last. And, we've been through this before, we've been prepared for this, and you've got this. You've got this, especially the light workers. You've been prepping up for this. We've been prepping up for this. So you're ready. You've got all the tools. And sometimes we don't know if we're going to make it through until we're actually right there at the threshold of the last, point and breath. But, it will turn out well. Trust that. Trust that. I am holding that for our humanity, that truth will prevail. And we've got this. So let's dive into planetary astro insights and what's happening. So the first one is the autumn equinox that is happening tomorrow, right? And it's that beautiful celestial event, right? Celebrated in the pagan holidays as we're entering a new cycle where it's the beginning of fall. We are entering the point of equilibrium, ironically, right? So it's equal day, equal night. It also highlights a lot of duality. Is it this or that? Better or worse? Like all these masculine, feminine, right? Dark and light. Like these dualities are being highlighted, but ultimately it's for us to look at them, turn them, work with that duality inside out to transmute and transform that. It's a beautiful time to come and take the sacred pause, especially for my sisters, for women that are listening. Extra reminder for us to take the pause, to really listen, to drop into some silence, into a moment for yourself, and reflect, really reflect on the seasons, reflect on this whole year. It's been a very eventful year for everyone. I mean, there's not a soul that I meet where like nothing's happening. There's a lot of stuff that's happening for everyone, and we're being compromised and challenged either, with our health, physically, mentally, emotionally, relationships wise, freedoms, right? Like all those levels. So it's really essential to pause and reflect, how much you've grown, how many things and events that you've been through. Take that pause to take that deep exhale, right? Um, and a great also reflection to be how much are you giving and how much are you, being at service of others, right? There's a lot of people that need us, kids, partners, sisters, our communities. Very often is like we give out, especially if you're a leader in your community. Well, how much are you giving? And where are you being resourced? Where are you filling up your cup? And as we review like new classes or new ways of implementing these like routines back in September, back to that rhythm of fall again. I want to get healthier, I want to take on a new exercise or a class. Well, as you're taking on new things, also reflect on, are you also purging? Are you eliminating some stuff? Or are you just adding more to your schedule, which is, again, could compromise your nervous system, overwhelm us. So looking at the essentials, so it's great time. Tomorrow we're going to talk more about that. Is really how to prioritize, how to review, take that sacred time. What is essential for you ultimately? In that term. Hello, everybody. So happy to see some sisters here. Yay. Sweet. Yeah. And remember, you're not alone in this, right? We're in this together. We're in this book together. We're all trailblazing, navigating something. So, on the collective levels, it can feel, again, very dualistic, very, black and white. Um, And that reality, black and white, especially the light workers, we're holding so much of that right now. A lot of my sisters, like, we just had our master heart session today, and like a lot of them are just feeling exhausted and tired and sleeping and napping in the middle of the day. And it's because we're moving a lot of energy. So just like the circuits, when you go to like different countries, when you go to Europe, Asia, right, the power is at a different frequency, right? So right now we're moving a lot of higher frequency, a lot of energy. So making sure that your body is not going to like short circuit on you. So how do you do that? How do you do that? A lot of water, electrolytes, um, light exercise, or exercising like, yeah, usual routine that you have, but definitely moving the body and creating more capacity, more room for your body to move that energy. I've been taking a lot of magnesium and melatonin at night, so your nervous system can have the time to rest and relax, recuperate, right? So being mindful of also like the energetic and the mental hygiene, what's coming in here, because in here, that triggers your emotions, right? Like the information and the thoughts that we're consuming triggers your emotional circuits. So really being vigilant of what are you letting in and how much are you letting in. So tapping into that quality of discernment, really knowing like what is useful for you and what is not from the higher perspective, right? Like even, I was sick, right? A few weeks ago. Okay, I had COVID and everything. So being super mindful, like what kind of information is going to elevate my state and what kind of information is just going to like, consume me and my emotions and like, drive my fear response or anger or rage, some stuff like that, that is not going to be useful. So intentionally, I was doing a lot more like heart meditations, high frequency meditations, sound baths, especially before bedtime, because that stays on our, cellular level and unconscious mind as well. So being super mindful of the screens as well. Yeah, you can have blue blocks. I've been wearing a lot of blue blocks as well. I know we spend a lot of time on screens. All right. I want to stay on track. So we went through the equinox. Let's talk a little bit about emotions and the full moon. Again, I'll dive deeper into this in our inner circle tomorrow. But this full moon is amplifying the energies of equinox, amplifying the energy of the collective, the elections, like all that stuff there. And it's the moon is in Pisces. Pisces, again, two fish, right, swimming in opposite directions, right? So this opposition is amplified. Every aspect has a light and an empowering aspect to it, and has a shadow aspect. So the Piscean energy, there's also Neptune in the equation, right? So Neptune and Pisces are both like super watery, super dreamy. So the highs of that is this is an incredible opportunity to tap into our intuitive powers, our dreams at night. You can do little inceptions, inquiries, connect with your intuition, your guides, ask for protection, right? So the veil is very thin for Pisces. It's really incredible to tap into that. Neptune as well is tapping into higher realities, maybe higher time frames, that this too shall pass. And what are we going to be as humanity, as my community, as my reality in 6 months from now? So tapping into higher perspectives and higher dimensions is the light quality of this full moon. It rules emotions. Pisces is a sign of deep feels, deep emotions. So again, we can feel a lot, and we can use that for our intuition, deepening that connection with the self. And also the shadowy aspect can be like we can overindulge in those emotions. We can it's kind of like the mind is like that monkey mind, and emotions can be that as well, is that it can be like a never ending down spiral. So it can be very nostalgic, depressive. um, Neptune's shadow can also be like overindulging in alcohol or drugs. So it plays with the illusion, right? There's a lot of illusions happening right now. So Neptune, the shadow aspect of it, can be very elusive. So we can go into our past habits, um, being on that like autopilot mode, old friends, old stuff that doesn't elevate you, doesn't feed you, and it's not good for you, but we're just like comfortable in that, right? So that's the shadow aspect of this time, is that we can just downshift into that autopilot mode and fall asleep. So don't go back to sleep. Stay awake. This is not the time to go to sleep. Stay awake. But it is time for great rest, for pauses, for taking it easy on your, body, nervous system. And okay, last thing is I want to talk about you. Okay, about the self, thyself. Okay, who are you in all of this? So, as the collective, there's a lot of heaviness in the collective realms. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of suffering that, as empaths, you might be feeling. Um, as the self, it's very, very important also to remain sovereign, to remain rooted and grounded. So, I encourage you, and tomorrow we're going to go into this as a circle. But I really encourage you to find a practice for yourself that gives you those roots. We are going back to grassroots again, right? This whole experience is bringing us back to, you know, the farming, the community, the resourceful for babysitting, for natural support for your tribe, right? So it really requires us to come back and rebuild from ground up, from basic roots, right? Um, so in this whole shaking up of the snowball, I feel like it's a snowball that's been like really shaken up. How can you keep your sovereignty? How can you keep those roots really strong and grounded, um, where you don't fall into victimhood? So very big distinction here is, even if you are facing restrictions, even if you are being imposed something that you're not agreeing to, um, how can you stay sovereign with it and make your own choices? So if you can't go to certain places, how can you still reclaim your sovereignty and your power and choose to go somewhere else? Choose to, gather with people that support you and, nurture your heart and soul. So choosing from a powerful place rather than surrendering to some kind of external, so and so, having power over you, which puts us in that victimhood zone. I hope you are getting the distinction. And it requires a lot of sovereignty for, like, I am not at the effect of this, but I am choosing this. I'm choosing something else. So choose powerfully for yourself and watch out so you don't fall into that victimhood. On a self, another aspect that is present on the self level is feelings of sadness, anger, or rage, right? So allowing yourself, again, Pisces brings us the gift of emotions. And emotions must be in motion, right? So if we are holding them, if we're repressing them, if we're shoving them down the basement, it's going to backfire. And I hope we're realizing that by now, that it's not going to get us anywhere to be pretty and nice, right? Like to remain to keep the facade all proper and clean. It's like, get real with what you're feeling. Give it, name it, just give it a word, give it expression, give it voice, right? What are you feeling right now? If it's sadness, just say it, give it room, give it space. So it's a really powerful time of the full moon in Pisces, is to, navigating or developing a different relationship with your emotions, where they're not overpowering you, but they are really empowering you, that they're giving you wisdom of maybe your boundaries being crossed. Maybe your tolerance level being crossed. Maybe some of your needs are not being met, right? And maybe some of those emotions are like tiny little whispers that are, yes, I want more of that, more of that. Well, follow those. So it's like, it's having a different relationship with our emotions. Can you really feel them and not react to them? Can you feel them and not judge them, right? Can you feel them and, not go into distraction? And we have that capacity to feel and hold space for other people a lot more, especially as women. We hold that space for our partners very often, and we know what they need for their emotions, their happiness, and well being. We know how to do that for our kids very well, for our sisters very well, and friends, right? But this is a time again to step more and more into our personal sovereignty and hold those places and spaces for yourself, right? How can you hold more space for you, more space for your emotions, being more compassionate, more kind, more loving, giving yourself more space and time to rest, space to feel, without judging. So it's a really amazing and powerful time to feel the duality, the judge, feeling the emotions, the rage, the sadness, the anger, whatever they are, and step out of duality. Notice it and have the capacity to go beyond duality. That's my invitation to you. I think that's about it. Okay, I'm not seeing all your comments. I know. Okay, I'm trying to go live on 2 platforms here. So I'll go to, hi, love. Hi, Olivia. Okay, I'm seeing some of you. Hi, Milena. Awesome, awesome. Hi, love. Beautiful. All right, sweet ones. Tell me. I hope it gives you a little more light at the end of the tunnel. And one more thing with equinox and cycles is planting the new dream. And we're going to do that tomorrow, is really anchoring and planting a new seed for yourself, for having something bigger to look forward to dream into, right? Because we can get really lost when we're in this current present moment, like here now it doesn't feel good, right? I'll do get a little tantrum dance here, right? Okay, yes, sisters, you're agreeing with me. Amazing. Okay, sweet. Okay, I'm not the only one going through this crazy time. So it's really, really important for us to just, how when you're in the present moment here now, it can be like super dense and crazy and intense, and we kind of have our face down, looking at each step that you're going to take, versus it's like this is the time to realign, refocus, and lift your head up and look a lot further, like 6 months from now, when all this craziness is over. Who are you? Who are you with? Because there are new communities out there. There are new amazing technologies that are coming out. There are new remedies that are coming out. There are so many incredible things that are happening in the world right here, right now. We might not see that because it's not on the big news, but they are happening. There's like alternative internet that's emerging and happening. So see and really visualize, tap into that higher perspective, higher vision for you and yourself and your life, of who you are, after like this is all over. So really important, those things. Set new intentions and new dreams for yourself during this time. All right, I love you. I'm sending you so much light, so much healing light and love into your day, into your week, into this incredible time. If you want to join us, the registration link is below. And if you're on Instagram, it's going to be in my bio. And if you're not on Instagram yet, get on my Instagram. All right. Love you all so, so much. You're so loved. You're so held. Okay. You are amazing. And you are a true hero, being reincarnated and being alive, trailblazing through this. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some love, and lots of love. Mwah.